Titab kalinzin to setai to titab MUNGARET AK BANDAPTAI awing betu tabra nige ngalale agobagama nu titab rip setab itonega met anan osne shektiba met ab Kenya agumisingo osnet na top neba mawole gere golengo negit ogotestagi utabik che menye kebebertan notok neba mau ama ing chamjine tab sergale ago ing studio kemite aneba ngajeret ing Kenya Water Tower Dr. Isaac Kalua nini letsko indojin tetutik chotok te setai te boga kemite akrip setab Mau Forest. So before we went for a break, I asked if there's an alternative, maybe land for those people who are being evicted from Mau, or what is the government going to do to ensure that they also get a place that they can settle?
Watomo ngalal ngalegap alternative land, amacha mo ngalegap cut line, because this is a very, very contentious issue. There was indeed a meeting that discussed the issue of cut line. There was a brief and it was agreed that a cut line needs to be in place in Mau. The only challenge that happened out of an issue that really I would want the Mwananchi to think about it very keenly, hear me out, because what I will say, as I've said again and again, it's nothing but the truth. It may be painful, but ngosamis moriat kovogot never. The cut line, when it was agreed upon, a cut line in a forest, Jacqueline, is supposed to be a cut line between the community and the forest. But there is no cut line anywhere in the world that has been done between a forest and a forest. The people who implemented the cut line implemented it in a wrong way, in a wrong place, in a wrong time.
So have you tried to talk with the leaders and the people around there to
you see, my organization, what we are supposed to do is to avoid everything else and face facts. In the year 2014, there was a report, Jacqueline.
Yeah, the task
this
force
report. No, this is the Water Towers report.
Okay.
And this report was signed then by the Minister, Nebo Environment, Madam Wahungu. The other person who signed the report is Mr. Lesiampe, the PS. Myself, and this report went to Parliament and also to the Presidency, and the report also was later released to the public. The report on one of the pages, and this is where it needs to be understood, and allow me to just have a minute to read it out. Recommendation number 17. It states as follows. The creating of a buffer between Masai Mau and Olposimoru Forest is ill-advised, and this should have been done in the edges of the forest. Should have been done in the edges of the forest to protect it from human encroachment. This has created a perception that the government might be planning to excise the Masai Mau. So it should not have been done at that point. And we mentioned that it is ill-advised. That was in 2014, actually 2013. Then later on, we also, number 17, it says Masai Mau should be handled with a conservation approach. This is where compensation takes place, and that takes me to the question. So the Masai Mau, the forest cut line was wrongly done. It was not supposed to be done in the first place. And let me throw wax into all this so that viewers can also look at it. It is 300 meters by 24 kilometers. This 300 meters, Jacqueline, wide, where the tea is being planted, times 24 kilometers means it is 810 hectares. That is about 2,000 acres of land. These are trees that are indigenous, untouched over hundreds of years. And now we have come into cut. I will ask, and this is for our common good as Wananchi, if you go to the institutions that are concerned, that material, there is no inventory of 2,000 hectares, 2,000 acres of land of forest materials, specifically indigenous trees that have been cut in this specific place. This, leave alone the fact that it was in the wrong place.
But you've seen the leaders arguing that they are conservationists,
Yes.
and like they take care of those trees. So if they are not cutting them down, then what's the problem?
If they're not cutting down what?
The trees, the indigenous trees. As
Yeah,
they
I mean,
say,
the
as we heard the
indigenous
leaders
trees
say,
must
yeah.
be conserved.
Yeah.
There is no question about that. They are better standing than out for posterity purposes. But again, it is about the cut line, and we need to be able, I think this is an issue that is so contentious. Why it is there, why it was created, and there surrounds some misconception that led to people imagining that this land is definitely going to be excised. And I think that is the most contentious thing about the Mau that needs to be addressed.
Okay, how much of the Mau forest do you think has been invaded or destroyed? And probably, are you just going to, you are entering into the second phase?
Yes.
So do you think it's going to be a success, considering that there's politics in play at the moment? And we've seen in Kenya, if there's anything, okay, conserving the forest is for goodwill, but the problem is when politics come into play, they derail everything. So are you assured that the second phase is going to take place well? And probably how much of the Mau forest is invaded at the moment?
Quite a lot. If there is a forest, first of all, let me say, we have 88 water towers in this country. Mau is one of them. It is a major one that has got myriads of advantages, and the value is unmatched. If you go to any of the 88 water towers, Masai Mau, which is only 46,000 hectares, is the worst in terms of destruction, because people have invaded the area. This is factual when you go down.
Yeah.
You know, when you cut one tree, you don't know how many more people are cutting, and we are increasing in numbers. And we must also make our wananchi to understand there is genuine pressure, by the way, by the people of Kericho, because there is so much land up there that they don't have much land. The big how big the family is much higher in that region compared to other parts of the country, and there is so much pressure for land. So people actually have a genuine reason to look for land. They have a genuine reason to make the politicians believe that they are their only hope. The only secret that people have not known is the value of the land and the benefit sharing that can accrue to the people surrounding the forests. If we were careful to understand the need for conservation, we would understand how much, because if you occupy, say, 20 acres of land in Mau, and if you are given the value of that when you are outside the forest, you are winning much, much more. The value that comes with new breeding systems, so that our animals are of higher value than what they are, so that a kilo of meat is no longer 100 shillings but 500 shillings per kilo, because of the way that you have taken care of the breed and how you have managed that. The value that comes with the beekeeping, the value that leads to people planting other types of fruit trees in that region. The value comes that with the bamboo production. The value that comes with management of so much water, so that there is benefit sharing. The moment wananchi will be made to understand this, I am telling you, they will be 50 times richer outside the forest than being inside the forest.
So do you think that also the government has failed in terms of giving them civic education in terms of the benefits of the forest and why there's need for conservation and such a thing? Because we've realized that you're saying that you're moving those people who have settled there in less than a year, then it means there was no any civic education that was done to them, and that's why they went and encroached the forest. So do you think also the government on its side is failing in terms of educating the public?
Who is the government? Government is me and you. In fact, I get surprised when I hear politicians talk about government. It's all of us, and we are forcing them to speak some of these things. It is for us to ensure that we can make the difference. Let the mwananchi understand. The Kenya Water Towers is doing that civic education. The Kenya Forest Service is making a lot of effort, and we are working together to make sure people can know all these things. Carefree, other institutions, NEMA, we are trying to put all this. And it is everybody's responsibility, just like it is yours. I wish one day we can come here and speak only about the benefit sharing, the payment for ecosystem services, ngalek ap mungaret nebo forest, chang chepkondo kapsa, chang rabini nebo protection, chang, it's 200 times more than what you are making living in the forest. But because people who have, you see, there are those who have chosen, wacha tuende tukaishi huko na tuambie mheshimiwa, wewe sasa sisi tuko hapa Kimiyu, kama unataka kura yetu tuko hapa, na tutaleta watu wengine ndio kura zikuwe mingi, na tutazaana zaidi huku Kipsigis mpaka tukue watu wengi, tuhakikishe tumefanya na maneno yako itakuwa mzuri. Unajua watu wanajua kutembeza maneno. They know they do it. Si kwa ubaya, si kwa madharau. They just want to look at what will be of advantage to them. And this is what we need to help our people to understand. We are not in that age where people and things will be done in that manner. Let's look at the resource that we have. Kanyamwao, ngaleka Japan. Japan, they have their land. The total land mass of Japan is half our size. Total. The number of people is actually a third or something like that. The total number of people is 100 and something million. Double or almost triple of our current size. Their forest cover is 70% of total land mass. How can you compare? The country's economy is so high. The people who can benefit most are the communities surrounding Mau. Big time, big time. And this is what our organization, and this is why as a leader in the environmental sector, and joining all the other leaders, to, you know, when we get different briefs, it creates confusion. But when we just follow the actual reporting and systems that have been released to the public, that have been released to the parliament, that have been given to the presidency, it helps the nation to move in one direction. But when we have leaders going from one place to get a brief, they get, and then we start looking at Natembea is working for a different government, we are working for this, the president did this, the deputy president did that, we are losing it as leaders. And I really, with very humble heart, request all our leaders, let us read from one specific group. Call us as Kenya Water Towers. Mine. Kagas ngalegu lakini amache chekan ngalega 1, 2, 3. Alafu tuna agree, tunasema this is where it is. There are so many developmental partners who want to come and work with communities around this place. But whenever I try to do this, Jacqueline, I have been banned from going to Narok County before, because I was stating this same position.
But you're saying now the Narok leaders are actually supporting the move. The entire process.
And you see, leaders change positions, unfortunately.
But
and
they say that they're changing the position because those who are targeted probably do not come from their community. And by the way, before we continue, maybe we'll have a look at the footage of the leaders from Narok speaking about the eviction.
Sure.
Kamwa MP nebo Narok North Moitale Lule Kenta kongololin en komosto nebo Mungaret AK sub-county nebo Narok North en tuyet nekoyai komwa ine kole koikochi serikali betusiek 14 kouto bichoton menye en osnetab Mau kotomo koib kakwautik cheboto komanda bichoton en timoton.
Hiyo tarehe 14 tutakuwa kwa hiyo msituni. Wacha Murkomen akuje, wacha kila mtu akuje, sababu hakuna tumalize tukataze uhai kwa kunyang'anya mali yetu, tukae tena ni uhai gani tena tunangojea kama maji inakwisha, kama kila kitu inakwisha, wacha tukufie hapa kama wanaume.
Kosipke ak MP Ole Kenta kowendi bororietab Masai kokete tuga koba komosoton bo osnetab Mau angot komoib kakwautiet serikali koker kole kokiuto biik tugul chemenye en osnetab Mau Forest.
Watu wametolewa pande moja, kuna pande kubwa haijatolewa na tunapeana leo notice. Tumepeana wiki 2 kutoka leo na Wamasai waanze kuhesabu. Waambie watu wa Mosio, waambie watu wa Kegonyoke, waambie watu wa Kajiado, waambie watu wa Tanzania waanze kuleta mambo pole pole. Ndio siku hiyo tarehe 14 tutakuwa kwa hiyo msituni.
En kasaratan kokochi kosubet ng'alalanaton neki speaker nebo Nairobi County Assembly Alex Magelo koboto senator kobun county nebo Narok Ledama Ole Kina chekamwa ichek kole makat en serikali komanda bichoton menye en kebeberta nebo Mau en maketab kikochi ripset konda metushekab beek.
Leo hii nataka kuwaumiza Wamasai wote wajitolee venye Mheshimiwa Ole Kenta amesema. Kama kutakuwa na ukora kidogo, sisi wote tuingie huko tuweze kutoa hii watu. Tunashukuru serikali, lakini tukishukuru serikali, mimi nataka kumwambia Ole Keriako, wacha hii maneno ya kusileki kidogo. Wewe weka gia namba 6, watu wote watoke. 14 days, 14 days, and we shall start visiting that Mau forest. Correct. We shall start visiting the Mau forest. In peace, we shall come. But remember, our boys will start patrols. They will start patrols. In peace, they will start patrols. But, what can I say? What can I say? If you don't go, you'll be pushed out.
Logoiwekab emet chebo Kass kong'eten county nebo Narok, kainenyun ko Nicholas Rono.
Yeah, what are your comments in regards to what the Narok leaders are saying?
I think we need to be very serious as a nation, as we always have been. If we can't see a problem happening now and in the offing, then we are not very clever. The position and what would make me move out and be told that I will not visit Mau, I'll not visit Narok County, was holding that position. And later on they came to understand. The same leaders who told me, don't you step your feet in Narok. And this is the top leadership. Today they are talking of a different language. It may be in the front, it may be in the back, but they are talking of a language that really we must conserve. This we must do. Both communities are talking about the same thing, conserving Mau. But let us leave and understand this is not just a two-community issue. These are Kenyans who are living there, and they deserve the best because they're in their country. We need to give them alternatives in livelihoods, alternatives in, because everyone deserves a right of living, good air and everything else. These two communities, or even one community for that matter, why entrench yourself and then be an enemy to the whole nation, really? It doesn't make sense. And my appeal to them, leaders, let's speak one language. We have a position. In 2005, there is a report that was done. It is consistent to what was expected and the same language that is being talked about today. And Jacqueline, I'm going to leave you with this document so that you can please educate your people. In 2014, we have this report that was clearly stated with the leadership of the ministry, and it stated that the cut line should not have been there. In where it is, cut lines are done between communities and forest, not between forest and forest. 2,000 acres has been destroyed of indigenous forest. We are now planting tea in that specific area for a space that should not even have existed. Where is that material? Did the people benefit of Kenya? Are we doing right what is right? There are things that we will still visit and visit in a good way. And not even me as an individual, because I may not have that capacity. But our God who lives will definitely do that for the people of Kenya. We must be careful about this. I give you this report so that it is in record. Recently we released a report. And this report is about Chulu and is also about the Masai Mau area. It talks about the same report. All these reports have been sent to Parliament, and we have shared with all these leaders that exist in these areas. Please educate your people in the same. The task force report, the very recent task force report, now it is in the website of the ministry. It is available. And therefore, it's no longer a secret document. I give it to you. Please read and educate your people so that they can understand the importance of protection of all this. And they, people, once they know what will help them. Hii wanasumbuana tu sababu wanatafuta chakula ya watoto na fees. Ukiwaonyesha njia nyingine ya kupata wakiwa pale, then it is very obvious that they will move and be able to do what is good. Let us do what will be good for this nation, because the nation belongs to us. It is in our hands today. Politics should be beyond all these things, and let us stop misguiding the politicians, depending on who briefs them. Let us all, this is a good opportunity for the Maasai leadership with their 14 days notice that they have given, with the other communities that say that they want to protect. Let us sit down together. Through the parliament, we can go and give a report to the parliament. They can now share it openly. The leadership of the country will understand. We are all friends in one country. We have children and ladies that are in these places that must be protected. But let's help each other, but do it by doing nothing, but telling the truth. This is what will help this nation.
As we wind up, probably what can you say about the first phase of eviction? And I know you're entering into the second phase. What are you looking forward to? And do you think that you're going to succeed in this fight to ensuring that you conserve the Mau forest?
The second phase and the profiled number of people. This will be done with proper consultation. The presidency is going to guide. We are not moving before this is done. The first phase was never even going to touch them. Again, just out of the wrong information, people imagine that now it's a big problem. Who wants to create an IDP situation in Kenya today after all this? So we are going to do it with a lot of consultation, and we are going to make sure that whatever is done, if it is compensation, if it is valid to be compensated, it shall be taken in that route once the government and the presidency guides. If it is then much more than that, as like ex gratia, if the title deeds are valid or invalid, then that is something a bit different. But the people in the community there, the people who are living there, they deserve the best from their country. And we must be sensitive of their living and give and offer what is going to be a proper substitute.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Kalua, and thank you for having your time to come to our studios.
Thank you.
We appreciate, and we know people have learned one or two things about conservation and the benefits they'll get from conserving the Mau forest.
Thank you.
So jitap kalenzin gagi tukchota geng betu tabrani tetu tetap mungaret ak bandaptai agoing studio gagi mite ak Dr. Isaac Kalua inendet ko nyabangajere sengi bakenga itap Kenya mutatawa niga yarurwech agoba kama nutetap rip setap itono gabe met gagi mite tap usneshek misingo usnet notok nipo Mau forest kiburina Jacqueline Arusei umbe missing awu banene ga yoni chigeri tetu tetap mungaret ak bandaptai amagun kita ketuguleme.